Hey folks, this is John Peniel, the John Peniel Show, and another beautiful day on South Hill. Okay, so this is going to be a new talk. This is going to be something a little different, but kind of related to the other videos that I've done. This is going to be entitled The Real Purpose of Music and All the Other Art Forms. Okay, so we all love music, right? We all love to read. Well, maybe not all of us, but a lot of us do. Literature, poetry, novels, nonfiction. We all like to watch movies. We like to look at art, in an art museum, sculptures, paintings, and so forth. So, why do we do this? Why are we so attracted to the art forms? And the art forms come in many forms. This doesn't have to be highfalutin stuff like an art museum. Art comes in many forms. It comes in popular music or the latest Hollywood movie or whatever. And it's up to the individual to judge whether it's any good or not. But what are we seeking? What are we seeking when we enjoy music or movie or a book or whatever? What is it that we're trying to find? What is the essence of it? What are we trying to accomplish with it? Well, I submit to you that what we're really trying to do, at least the subconscious or the higher part of us is trying to get through to us, is we're trying to connect with all that we are. We're trying to connect with everything in the universe. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to find the underlying unity of everything and how we fit inside of the universe. And we're trying to achieve that unity with everything that we see and don't see. In other words, we're trying to find God. Oops, there's that three-letter word I used again. Sorry. Source. Whatever word you like to use, it's the same. It's all the same. There is an underlying spiritual reality, source, being behind and in and through everything. So this is what we're doing. This is what we're trying to do. Consciously, most of the time, we're not doing that. Basically, you listen to music and you're just trying to get into the feel the beat, get into the groove. Trying to get your mind off things. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. It's a creature comfort. But at some point, there's some point in your life, there's this impelling force within you that wants to go deeper than mere creature comforts. That impelling force is the God within you, that higher personality inside of you, the augmented personality. Because God is the ultimate personality enhancer. Without God, there would be nothing. But we have God inside of us. Once you connect to God, you find your real self. And that's the whole point of the arts. That's the whole point of music. That's the whole point of books. They're signs, they're pointers. They're there to jog something within us. And a lot of that has to do with feeling. We feel when we listen to a piece of music, we're moved, whether it's Beethoven's Ninth Symphony or the Beatles' Let It Be song to anything more current than that, which I can't tell you which one that would be because I'm not really hip on the current popular music scene. I'm an old fuddy-duddy, according to many people's opinions anyway. So, it's the jog our memory. It's to jog us into who we really are. The feeling, the emotion plays a big part in that. It's very important. Feelings, emotions are a very important part of the human condition. However, that can be a trap, though. We can get caught up in feelings. We can get caught up in emotions. So you don't want to make the emotion the end to itself. That can be turned easily into an idol. And when that happens, you start to stagnate. You don't move ahead in your quest to becoming all that you truly are in the one. So we've all been there. I'm not saying that to judge or anything. This is all very much part of the human condition. God is all merciful, all accepting. He understands. So, it's kind of interesting to note that in the 19th century there was an artistic movement that was very popular during that time, like 100, 150 years ago. It was during what was called the Romantic era. This is when a lot of the classical music, great classical music was created, like Tchaikovsky, Chopin, Franz Liszt, all those guys, even Beethoven. It was during this era that people were starting to figure out that there was an underlying unity between all the arts. So they saw connections between music, sculpture, paintings, literature, and so they would seek to find the underlying unity of all that's in the arts, and then as a result, they would be inspired to create these great pieces, works of art, which reflected that. In other words, the music started becoming less abstract and more, more cinematic in its appeal. If you listen to a lot of that music during that period of time in the mid-19th century, you'll be struck by how, it would sound like it comes right out of a movie. Even though this is way before movies came out, way before movies, moving pictures started coming on the scene. So how did that happen? How were they able to make music that was way ahead of its time, that seemed to come out of a movie theater? Had a very cinematic appeal. Well, they realized the underlying unity of all the arts. They felt it. They intuitively tapped into that. Their subconscious dug really deep into that, and out of the subconscious, out of that fertile soil in the subconscious, which came to a realization of the unity of the arts, came out this very potent music. And not just in the music realm, but also in the other arts. The paintings started to become very vivid. Van Gogh, for instance, you look at his paintings, extremely vivid, totally unlike anything that came out 50 years before that. This is because of the underlying philosophy that was taking hold of Europe and the Western world at that time, the underlying unity of all the arts. So when you have the unity, you have more potency. And this reinforces what I've been saying all along in my other videos. When, we have to have unity consciousness in order for your spirituality to be more potent. When you see and feel and know the unity that you have with everything, you become a supra-man, a supra-woman, full of life, full of energy, full of creativity. Your life becomes a cinematic experience. It becomes even better than a movie. It becomes a grand adventure. So that's the whole point. That's the whole point of all these things that we enjoy and almost take for granted, unfortunately. If not, well, let's face it, we've all taken it for granted. Music, books, whatever. But now that you hear this point of view, you might want to look into this a little deeper and just kind of open yourself up to what's going on inside the music that you're listening to, or what's going on inside your head when you're reading that book, and you want to just ask yourself, okay, I want to be taken to something really deep when I'm reading this book or when I'm listening to this piece of music. I really want to connect with all that I am, with everything in the universe. Just say that to yourself as you're reading the book. Have that intention and continually put yourself into that frame of mind. It might even be more helpful to you and more potent if you did these things at night when your consciousness is more susceptible. When it's nighttime, your consciousness is going to be more susceptible to what you're saying to yourself, if that makes any sense. So when you're reading a book at night and you're saying to yourself, I'm open to all that I am. I'm open to unity consciousness. I'm open to the deep underlying thing that this book is getting across, what's between the letters, so to speak. The spirit between the letters. You really want to dig deep into it, not just get to be merely entertained by it, or whether it's by music or whatever. Nothing wrong with being entertained, by the way, but you want to achieve a balance by being entertained and being brought into something deeper than your own egoistic experience. You want to expand. So that's my challenge to everybody out there, to do that. I encourage everybody to do that. Okay, folks, I appreciate you listening to this. I hope that you got all that you needed out of this little short video. I'm going to do a little plug for myself. Put a like on my YouTube. Put a subscription. Subscribe to my YouTube. Share it out. Don't be afraid to share out so more people can hear this. All right, folks. Much love to everybody. Shalom and namaste.